Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast Raw in Wonderland. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Grab your coffee because today we're sitting down with none other than Plato, the philosopher, the thinker, the founder of the first ever university and unexpectedly a talented athlete. So let's take a sip of coffee and step into his world of ideas, allegories, and wisdom that still resonates today. Plato wasn't just a philosopher, he was a storyteller, a teacher, and the guy who made sure his mentor, Socrates, wasn't forgotten. If you ever heard of the Cave Allegory, that's him. And fun fact, his real name was Aristocles. But because of his broad-shouldered athletic build, people called him Plato, which means broad or wide. Imagine if he had stuck with Aristocles. His story might have been very different. Plato's Cave Allegory is one of the most famous philosophical thought experiments. Imagine people living in a dark cave, chained up, only able to see shadows flickering on the walls. To them, those shadows are reality. One day, someone escapes, steps outside, and sees the real world. Exciting, right? So, he comes back to tell the others, but plot twist. No one believes him. The truth sounds ridiculous to those who have never experienced it. And doesn't that sound familiar? Have you ever tried to share something eye-opening only for people to dismiss it? Maybe Plato was onto something when he suggested that stepping outside our mental caves is the key to understanding life. One of my favorite Plato quotes is, "No one does evil knowingly. Evil comes from ignorance." Now, before you roll your eyes, think about it. Have you ever seen someone act selfishly or cruelly and thought, wow, if only they knew better? Plato believed that with enough knowledge and self-awareness, people would naturally choose good. Do I agree? Depends on the day and how much coffee I had. But honestly, this idea helps us develop compassion even for people we don't understand. And let's face it, we've all had ignorant moments. I, for example, once tried to cut my own bangs, and let's just say, I should have sought wisdom before doing that. And now, let's talk about Platonic love. Most people hear Platonic love and assume it means unrequited love, but that's actually wrong. Plato wasn't talking about heartbreak, he meant a deep intellectual connection beyond physical attraction. He thought the highest form of love was the love of knowledge, ideas, and wisdom. So, if you ever geeked out over a book, a deep conversation, or a really good philosophy podcast, wink wink, congratulations, you're experiencing true Platonic love. But if you're still waiting for your crush to notice you after 3 years, sorry, that's not Plato, that's just unfortunate. Plato didn't just talk about philosophy, he built an entire school for it. The academy was the first institution of higher learning, and it had a very unusual entrance rule. No one ignorant of geometry may enter. I mean, what kind of gatekeeping is that? Imagine if Starbucks had a sign saying, "No one who can't solve calculus may enter." Okay, it's not even an issue for me. But there was a reason Plato believed geometry taught people how to think rationally, spot patterns, and see the world beyond just its surface. So maybe next time we struggle with a math problem, instead of crying, we should thank Plato? Or, okay, you can still cry. Just like his mentor Socrates, Plato was not a fan of democracy. He believed that voting should be reserved for those who were educated and informed, not just anyone who showed up. He compared it to a ship. Would you let just anyone steer a ship, or would you want someone who actually knows navigation? He feared that without wisdom, democracy could lead to disaster. Given some election results in history, well, he might have had a point, but let's not go there. If I had to pick just one Plato quote to live by, it would be this: be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. We never truly know what someone else is going through, and kindness costs nothing. Whether it's a barista who made a mistake on your order or a grumpy neighbor, maybe, just maybe, there's something deeper happening that we don't see. So let's take Plato's advice and sprinkle a little extra kindness today. And if someone is really testing your patience, well, as I always say, blocking is also a form of self-care. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into Plato's world. Remember, knowledge is power, love is wisdom, and always question the shadows on the wall. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and never stop searching for the light outside the cave. Bye, guys!